Star Shines. Welcome to Chai Chats with Sam, where we have unfiltered, relatable, real life chats. Today, we're going to talk about setting goals. Very fitting topic because it is New Year's Eve. Super excited. I think I keep getting more excited and excited every time a New Year's comes around. It's just symbolic for me because that's when I'm just like, okay, let's recap everything. Let's see what's basically what I've learned through this year and what it is I want to do next. I'm always about the line I use a lot is basically you haven't seen nothing yet. I remember this is a line over 10 years ago. My homeopath had mentioned this to me because I felt amazing, and he said to me, you haven't seen anything yet. So I find that is a line I use every every end of the year, basically anytime I feel excited about something, because it drives me to want to see what's coming up next, and it keeps me on that chase. It keeps me on the chase of following for my dreams, wanting more, adding more to my palette of dreams and all of that. So but anyway, so I wanted to share that, and I'm so happy that you're here, and hopefully with this video you'll be able to get started with your own goals and basically continue or pick up from there and kind of amplify it even more. All right, so let's get started with that. So just again, it's going to be a quick recap of basically how to get started, and then kind of give you the the steps on doing that yourself. And then of course you can definitely connect with me afterwards if you do need extra support with that, but we'll go through that at the end. So I want to first basically the way I set goals is basically I take a look and see, I look at my life pillars. So as a human being, we are body, mind, soul. We're basically full one. We cannot separate ourselves. Our life pillars are part of our lives. So we all have finances. We all have a career, or if a career can be even being at home and raising your children. That is a full-time career, maybe even more demanding. We all have, of course, health, because we have our body. We have relationships, again, whether even if it's with, if you don't have children, you have friends, you have loved ones, so all of these pillars are basically, in any human being, there is basically these pillars that will be surrounding. Now, if we focus on just one item, because the biggest mistake a lot of people do is they'll say, okay, well, this year I want to focus on my health. That's all I want to do. I want to just focus on it, and that's really good, because that's probably the main goal. But we also want to not neglect the other pillars that are around you. So meaning, what goals do I have for my relationships? What goals do I have in my career? What do I want to do? Because with health, if you are feeling bummed out with your career, if you're feeling like you are not in a good relationship with either with a loved one or with your child, your health, you're going to feel bummed out to even be motivated to do work on your health. So that's why all these pillars have to be balanced, and that's what alignment is. So just making sure that, yes, pick a goal, and maybe that will be your main focus going in. Maybe health will be your word, and that will be the main thing you go into the year doing. Well and good, but just make sure that everything else around you also is applied. And even if you're going to maybe focus on one more intensely, but you also are basically balancing it with other pillars. Imagine a table, taking out one of the legs. It will not stand on its on only three legs. It will likely probably just sit for a little bit, but then it will stumble over. So look at it as life the same way. So if one part of your pillar is not stable, it will affect every single every single other one of here. And I gave an example earlier, just before this. All right, so looking at, so you want to basically do is, what I do is I actually write them all down. So I'll write, this is my financial life pillar, this is my health, this is my career, so career, business, and this will be my relationships. And then also I will also put in my personal, so things that I want to do that are just hobbies and things like that. So okay, so that would be another pillar for me. So I would put them all down and then write down at least 3 minimum. If you can even have one, that's fine, but if you can get between 1 and 3, you want to see if you can get for each pillar. and write each down and say, you know what, and maybe in my health I'm going to basically, I want to lose a certain number of pounds. I want to feel I want to be more mobile. I want to move more. I want to feel more fluid in my body, like, and more energized. So that will be a goal, and we're gonna get into the details of actionable steps. So this is just you kind of saying, what is it I want? What do I want in this pillar? What do I want to actually see happen for me? And continue from there. And then in your career, like maybe I'm looking to get, a promotion. I would like to actually voice that and ask for that promotion or ask for that raise. Or I'm looking actually at a position that maybe that I want to basically apply within that have, so maybe we'll talk about the steps about what it is you will do in order to basically start to make that happen for you. But again, you'll put it down that this is what I want to do, or maybe I want to take a course that's actually going to give me a push up into my company, the company ladder, right? So things like that. And then, for example, with finances, like maybe I want to start a savings. I want to save a certain amount of money, or I want to basically make, if let's say with finances you're looking to make a certain amount, or maybe you're trying to clear out a debt. So where am I going to get my resources? Where are the funds? Like, how am I going to create that? So again, that could be linked to your career. So do you see how the links are together? Because if your career is not being looked after, then the finances will start to hurt. So things like that. So that's right there is a good example why you need to balance all your life pillars, and goals have to be applied that way. So yes, pick one that will be your main focus going into the year, but also make sure that the others around you are basically complementing it, and that's working out. So a good example, I know people ask me, like, what is it when you talk about relationships, what are you talking about? So maybe I want to be more open, communicative, to communicate more with my relatives, my elders, or things like that, or I want to basically spend spend more, like invest time where we do a lot of connections, maybe with your partner or your husband or your wife, whatever the case is. So that would be the reason. Now, on a personal pillar, so the personal, like hobbies and all that, you want to take a look and see at things like I want to read more. I want to actually start to do my reading, or I want to write more. I want to actually start a blog, things like that. Like whatever it is that lights you up, whatever, because that is one of the most important pillar, because that's where the self-care comes in there. A lot of the self-love comes in there, and self-love is basically you doing this is self-love, but the self-care of actually just taking time away and just doing stuff for you, so if it's I'm gonna go and swim, just go and have fun, or skate, or whatever the case is. So those would go under that pillar. All right, so once you've established that and you've written them down, it can be, again, between 1 to 3, or if you have more, but I would settle to up to 3. You do not want to bombard yourself, because then you know what happens after that. Then you'll end up not doing it at all. So just kind of, make it very, so this is what actually, now we're going to segue into the acronym, and I'm sure most of you have heard of this acronym called SMART. So SMART, and basically you'll see this thrown around a lot, especially around this time of year, about how to set SMART goals. All right, so I've put in a little bit of a twist in the words that I put in, so that it's relatable. It's something that actually feels personal to me, and it's encouraging. All right, so for example, for S, usually the actual acronym, like the meaning for S would be specific, be very specific. So for me, I also added simple. Specific is definitely legitimate, but you also want to make it very simple, and you want to make it sexy, like your goals should feel sexy to you. And when I say sexy, I'm not talking on a physical, well, yeah, it is arousal, because you are going to feel it physically, and that's the point, is you want to really feel like sexy even thinking about it, like, oh my god, like look at what result it's going to be. And what you're doing there is you're triggering your reptile brain, which is where the creativity comes in, which is what motivates you to want it, because your reptile brain is the first brain that was actually created when we, as humans, when we evolved, and it will actually say, what's in it for me? So you want to know what it will feel like once you get that goal. So you want to start practicing that, and like right from the beginning, what is the outcome? How is that going to make me feel? How am I going to feel if I have this new job? How am I going to feel when I complete this degree, or I complete this certificate, if it's in education? Or how will I feel when I actually actually save up and have this amount of money in my bank account and I can actually see it? Things like that. So that's really, I think it's sexy is just the right word to use, because it feels the feeling that you get when you feel sexy is what you're looking for. It's significant. It's specific. So specific is it's the main word that comes in that acronym, original naming for it, and you want to make sure you're very specific. So when you're actually writing down your goals, this is where the action steps come in, is what exactly you want. So if you're looking for, you're making it specific. For example, I want to maybe lose weight. I want to to lose some weight. You're gonna say, I want to lose 25 pounds by this day. At this time, you're actually going to make it very specific. This is what you want. Or I want more money. More money can be an extra cent in your account. That's more money. But if you're specific, say I want to have $10,000 every month, or I want to make $10,000 in my business, additional every single month that will be added. So I'm making this amount, $10,250.11. You're very specific. Your mind, your subconscious is what's working for you right now, because it needs that direction. It needs to know what is it exactly you want. If you just say I want more money, you will get a cent, and you'll be able to even see a penny maybe on the ground, and that's more money. It just knows that you just want to see more money, but it doesn't know that it's personal to you and exactly what it is you want. So you want to be very specific when you're writing your goals. And then M, so you want it to be meaningful. So I know the main word for M is measurable, so you'll see that around, written around. So for me, I've added meaningful. So your goals should be meaningful to you. Again, triggering that reptile brain, activating that reticular activating system, which we're going to talk about in just a moment when we talk about R. You want to make it meaningful to you. What's in it for you? Because honestly, that's exactly what's going to motivate you to get it done. That's exactly what's going to make you keep it as a habit and create that habit. You want it to be magical. Who doesn't like magic? So make sure it's magical, and it's just exciting when you write it down. Okay, so that's basically the M. Let's go to A. So we are SMA. So achievable. So I know the word. I believe it's actionable. It's actionable. I've also added achievable. Okay, so you want to make sure that it's achievable. Any goal is achievable as long as you've thought of it. It is meant for you, but it's achievable. What I mean is within the time frame you set. So for example, if you set it to, okay, you will know you will have this goal on this date, let's say December the 30th, you will know this is the goal, is accomplished on this date at this time and all of that. That is, you want to make sure that it's achievable by that time. So let's say, you're looking to get a certificate in a whatever program, and it is a 2-year program. So achievable meaning in the 2 years. You cannot have it in 1 year. But if you can find a way, then definitely, but make sure that it's that. And we're going to get to realistic in just a moment. All right. And actionable, something that when you break it down, that it's basically actionable, again, within the time frame that you've set it out, and that you're able to get it done based on how you lay it out. All right. Okay, so R is basically realistic. So I've added words such as resources as well. So what resources do you have access to that you can actually just tap into and use to be able to get those goals accomplished? So utilize and write them down. What resources do you have? Your resources, your mind is your resource. Your creativity is your resource. Who you know, your networking. Take advantage of that. If you have a business, your mail list is your resource. Put that out. Be friends with them. Just make sure it's your bread and butter right there, you know. So like, again, as an example, if you're running a business and that's a goal that you want to set out, is just to be more connected to your audience and things like that. And then I've also added a reticular activating system. So as I mentioned earlier, reticular is a part of the brain. It's part of, I'm not scientific, so I hope I'm not butchering this, but it's a part of in the back of your brain where it basically it's the part that basically what you focus on, it will give you more evidence of that. So the more you activate it, the more it will look for evidence around to basically confirm to you that what your belief is true, that your belief is true. Okay, so that you believe in more. So you're acting as if you are basically, you know, if you're looking that you're making 10,000 every month from your business, or from maybe a raise that you received in your career, whatever the case is, you're acting as if. And what would you do? How would that feel like? So the more you see, or let's say you're looking to buy a house, and like you're not ready to get it yet, but that's the goal. You have set it out, and your goal is within the year you're gonna get ready, you're going to have a down payment ready, you're going to be connecting with mortgage brokers, you're going to connect with financial people, whatever the case is. That's activating your reticular activating system. RAS is the acronym. And what it's going to do then, it's going to work for you, and it's going to bring in more evidence to show you how realistic, so that you can actually see how realistic this goal is. Okay, so that is going to be something that you can utilize when you're creating your goals. All right, so that's basically R, and now we're finally into the T. And usually T stands for time frame, but I've also added transformational. I've added towards what you want. So transformational, you want it to be something that really like makes you feel alive. It's actually making you grow. It's actually doing something for you and for the greater good, and as well as, of course, for your greatest good and for the greater good around you. And then towards what you want. Again, you are always acting as if. You're always basically living as if it's already happened. So you're always living in a point of outcome. What's the outcome like? What will it feel like? What will it look like? What will you see? What will you hear? You know, like, you know, is it the bank account and how the bank account looks like, or is it basically the smell of the new house as you walk in? What will you hear? Like, the bathtub, I don't know, something, whatever. So you want to basically use those senses in order for you to be able to feel towards what you want. So it's always when you're doing your goals and you're acting on it, it's always towards what you want. It's like it's already happened, and you're always in the present tense. And that's, again, basically signaling to the subconscious that this is actually what's the reality. The subconscious doesn't know what's real and what's not. It just knows what you are focusing on, and it knows what you believe is true for you. So get that working, and the way you get that done is by use your goals towards what you want, like towards what you want with your goals, if that makes any sense. All right, okay, so I think that's basically it when it comes to SMART goals. So you've got an idea of exactly how to actually make goals and write them all down. So now it's time for you to actually put them into action steps. So every single goal, you can desire, you can dream, but if there's no action, there's not much that's going to happen. So what are the action steps for each? So in my actual, if you are on my mail list, you may have gone through, because you basically downloaded the goal setting worksheet. If you do not have it and you like, you can email me and I can always send it over to you. But I do have a template where you can actually put in, or you can create your own, but you can actually put in on a weekly basis or monthly basis your actionable steps for each pillar. So these are the things I'm going to do every month that I need, and with check boxes, so that you are basically, again, the reticular activation needs to know, okay, boom, and it loves to see check marks. It likes to see like something's already done, like, because it gives you, it's exciting, it's celebrating. And again, this is all part of this whole visualizing. And again, that's what goals are about. They're a lot of fun if you make them fun. And it's basically creating your reality of what it is you want to do in your life and what you want to see come to fruition in your life. So again, so I do have a sheet where you can actually look at if you are interested in that. If you don't have it, like, because I did send that out, I believe you may have probably got it, but I've updated it. So So I'm trying to see if I can have it updated where you're able to have access to it. But if not, then you can just email me directly. We can connect, and I can always make sure I send that to you. But it's basically what I've done is I've broken down all the the pillars, and I've put in like 3 goals for each of the pillars, what I had discussed earlier. And then every sheet on the top, you put the month that you're actually working on, and these are the things, action steps that you're taking this month to be able to get to that next. So you're chunking it down to get to that point. So your end result, you know, it's going to be, let's say the date is December 30th. This is the end result for your goal. But the actionable steps, what are those? So you're going to do those either monthly, you can do those every 3 months, where you now revisit it and see what basically needs to be tweaked, or whatever the case is. So this sheet basically is like a more of a cheat sheet where you're able to do that, or you can create your own and just do them and put the blocks up and then say these are the 3 things. So if you have your own journal that you follow, or your own calendar that you follow, they can put them in there. Everyone's different, so let me know if you need me to send you that. You can definitely email me directly, and then I can take care of having that sent to you. All right, so, and then I believe that's about it when it comes to setting goals. Remember, another 2 points that I want to point out is believe. You have to believe that this is realistic for you, that it is something that is going to happen for you. And the way you believe is, again, making sure you're towards what you want. You are activating that reticular activating system, which means that you're watching out for everything. So when I say, a good example is, if let's say you're looking to buy a Mini Cooper, you'll notice all of a sudden you're seeing Mini Coopers, because that is something it's sparked your interest. So you'll notice even on the road you're seeing Mini Coopers. So that's what we mean by the reticular activating system to work for you that way. So you want to be able to see all of these things around you. You want to see that beautiful house. You want to visualize it like you are looking in a movie about you, not visualizing like you're in it, but you're visualizing like you're looking at a house. So that is very key, and that is like the secret ingredient right there. Like that sort of, people make mistakes because when they visualize, they actually visualize themselves in it. So looking directly through, not through the eyes, but directly like you're in it. So you're actually seeing yourself in that image. And that's the secret ingredient to visualization. That's what makes visualization actually work for you. All right, so believe that was about it. Just wanted to wish you all a happy new year, to your massive success. I created this with your success in mind, and I'm so grateful for you. And I look forward to connecting with you still in the new year, in this new decade, and may we all make some magic happen in our lives. And I look forward to hearing any comments, any feedback that you have, any questions that you have, I should say. Definitely make sure you can feel free to email me, or you can visit my website to connect with me there as well, sambramarodan.com, or you can email me and or reply to this email as well. All right, thank you so much. Happy New Year to you and your beautiful families, and I look forward to seeing you in the new year. Bye.